In this video, I'm gonna be taking you guys on a tour of my personal luxury Sprinter. As you guys can see, we've got two TVs, front and back, and this is actually a mirroring what's on my phone right now, which is super cool. Let me just get that Face ID going. So it's mirroring the Corvette YouTube that we just, or Corvette YouTube video that we just put out. A lot of cool things in this in this Sprinter here. We've got iPads here. Another one here. It is, oh, we've got, Jesse! We've got a bench seat in the back right there. We've got captain seat, captain seat, captain seat here, captain seat, and captain seat. So this is essentially, it's actually a 10-seater, and in any kind of vehicle like this, they consider the driver and the passenger up front, as well as the 8 in the back, totaling the amount of available seats and the rating for the vehicle. So the story behind this vehicle is actually kind of interesting. When I bought this vehicle, there was a time where I was making a lot of trips, a lot of road trips for business, and I didn't want to get to a point where I was making so many trips in order to create value and create business for, or create more revenue for the businesses or whatever, by drumming up more business and sales. But during the road trip, I was inactive or being less productive. So what I did was I ended up scooping this up and starting a limo business with it. So my idea was, I'm gonna buy this vehicle for myself, but also create a business out of it. So what we ended up doing was I hired a driver. We started advertising the bus for rent. We ended up getting all of the necessary licensing and qualifications in order to be able to do something like this. And we created LUXXISVIP. So we have this vehicle, we have another vehicle as well. And yeah, I mean, this thing has served me well. I don't actually use it too often anymore, but I mean, when I get a chance to, I mean, I love traveling in this thing. It's amazing not having to drive. We've got, a little mini bar here for drinks and things like that. People even use this thing for weddings sometimes, which is actually, if you have a small wedding party, it's totally acceptable. A lot of people use this for airport runs, and a lot of people use this for nights out, where if you have, 2, 3, or 4 couples or whatever. This is a perfect vehicle instead of your traditional Lincoln Town Car limo. And the reason for that is because there's a lot more room. You can stand up, so I'm 6 feet. I can stand up, my head is not even touching the ceiling in here. The sound system is great. We've got updated Bluetooth, which obviously isn't on because the video is on. And I mean, we've got privacy shades in here. I mean, this is a very luxurious vehicle to travel in, and to have if having it personally is also your kind of thing. A couple of other cool things. We've got a cooler here for people's drinks, and it's actually a cooler which actually cools as well. This isn't just like this isn't a cooler. It's just like a cooler with a condenser as well. There's a lockbox right there underneath that seat. There's an ice box here for your drinks or whatever you want to put in there. I mean, that's about it, man. I mean, the seats are super comfortable. We've got a reclining chair here. So we've actually got a privacy partition here. There he is. Hello. Jesse, what would you say, do you have any thoughts about driving this thing?
Who cares? You're not supposed to drive these.
How do you feel this thing drives though?
Well, not that my opinion matters, but
Well, it does because you're driving it.
Okay. I mean, there's no hiding the fact that it's big. It's actually not as cumbersome as you may think.
Yeah.
Upon looking at it, driving it, it's still a van, just tall, and obviously very long. But you know, these are very heavily regulated, so you have to have a certain amount of, you know, systems in place to help you with parking, knowing where the bus is. It's got blind spot. It's got proximity, like radar on it, and a backup camera.
Yeah.
It is a diesel, so it drives like a diesel.
Great gas mileage.
Yeah, for what it is, great on fuel.
Yeah.
You're gonna get called out for calling the diesel gas mileage.
Diesel mileage? What would you call it?
Fuel consumption?
Fuel consumption. Fuel economy?
But other than that, it drives like a van, and it's not so bad. I mean, like I said, this isn't where you want to be in one of these. It's kind of like, this is like an S-Class or a Rolls-Royce van. You know, it's just like the epitome of luxury in the back. And then, I'm not saying it's bad up here, but you know, I'd much rather be back there as well. So but for what it is, it's very easy to drive, and you know, I can see how this is not annoying at all. So
one thing that I will tell you guys is, when you don't have, like, for example, for me alone in the bus right now, when you're going over bumps, you feel it a little bit more when it's not loaded up, which makes sense, right? When you're also in a truck, the bed tends to bounce around a little bit more when you don't have it loaded up. So makes sense. But I mean, all in all, for you know, something that you need to be driven around in, or something where you want to go out for a night out on the town or whatever, and have a date night, or be driven around in, or picked up somewhere. I mean, how do you beat? You can't beat something like this. You can't. It's hard to beat something like this. I mean, I'm taking something like this over any other kind of luxury vehicle. I'm gonna take this over a Bentley because I'll probably have money left over to be able to pay a driver. Am I right? Or am I right? Yes. Pretty close. So one of the biggest things I can tell you that I use this for is when I'm traveling and I say I gotta go to an airport, I gotta go to Metro Detroit, or I gotta go to Toronto or whatever, there's nothing better than being dropped off and picked up at your terminal. There's nothing better. I do not like going through the entire airport, parking your car, leaving your car there. I mean, it's just such a fucking pain in the ass. Having this and having someone drive you to your terminal is the next best thing. I almost feel like that's the next best thing, Jesse, to having your own private plane. Yeah. Like, honestly, being driven to the airport and not having to deal with all that bullshit from going to the airport to your plane, or from your you know, your home or whatever, being picked up at your home and being dropped off at your terminal. The next best thing would be getting on a private jet or something like that. So we're actually at the airport right now. Jesse thought it'd be funny to pull up at the airport but not go in it.
Wow, this sure is funny. This was way funnier in my head. Especially if the partition was up, it would have been funnier, because then you would have been all
right,
confused.
let's put the partition up.
Well, you know what? It's, you know, the moment's passed.
Are you still on intercom? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
So there's also, what's really cool about this too is, obviously with the partition up, if you want some privacy from the driver, there's also an intercom that you can have a conversation with, or, you know, the driver can notify you of your stop, or you can notify the driver if you got to get out for whatever reason, or for whatever reason you want to notify the driver. There's an intercom system where you can have a conversation with whoever's up at front.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, very good, actually. So what kind of leather would you say is on these seats? Because this has probably got to be the softest leather I've ever felt in my life, as well as some of the most durable leather.
Yeah, it's really nice, and I mean, this thing's done a lot of runs, right? So.
Yeah, like this thing's out all the time, and you know, just knock on wood, we've never really had an issue. You know, also we have nice vinyl, you know, trendy, nice vinyl flooring in here. Like, I mean, this thing's hooked up. This is a nice,
blackout curtains all the way around.
Yeah, blackout curtains all the way around. This one's down because the sun was in my face when I started, but you can pull the curtains down all the way around. Yeah, it's very cool. Very cool. Air conditioning, you talk about heat and air conditioning back there. So
Oh
yeah, it's got full AC and air conditioning, so that's the intercom that's on. Watch Jesse talk now.
Hello.
Say something.
Yep.
Say something now.
Hello.
Yeah, so you can now that's with the intercom. Yeah, totally different. It's got 12 volt.
Yeah, there's USB and household outlets throughout.
Yeah, there's that. We've got plugs all over the place with USB. Another cool thing about this bus or luxury Sprinter is that this bench seat right here actually reclines or turns into essentially a bed. So what you do is, well, first of all, you got to take the headrest off or it won't move. And then you, Jesse, you press this button here, sofa, you hold that down, and the bench essentially folds out into a bed. So that's actually pretty cool. If you have, you know, a family, you're taking a family trip, or you got kids or whatever, and you know, essentially they want to lay down or whatever, they've got a sofa bed back there that they can sleep or lay down on. So speaking of being able to be productive on the road, and one of the reasons why obviously I did acquire this vehicle is this thing is set up for being able to be productive on the road. So it's got, you know, tray tables where you can easily put a you know, a computer on, or you can, you know, do whatever work you got to get done. So almost every single captain's chair has one. So there's one here, there's one there. There is not one for these two. There's ones in the back here, and there's another one in the back there. So, you know, allows you to be productive, like I said, when you're on the road, which is the sole reason why I bought this vehicle, and then turned this one into essentially a business. Okay, also, in this vehicle, we have lights. Oh, there we go. We have reading lights. So these are reading lights. They're kind of very, you know, low, I guess you could say. So all lights, obviously it's daytime, so you can't really notice the difference here. But, you know, there's only a couple lights up on the ceiling, so nothing crazy. That's about it. We do have accent lights. So accent lights, you can't really see it in here, but there's rope lighting on the inside of the windows that light up as accent lights. But all in all, guys, this is my luxury Sprinter. If you guys want to rent it, everything is going to be in the description below. And stay tuned for the next video where I take you through on a tour on my 24-passenger luxury party bus. So another cool thing about this bus, whoa, what was that? Bus. On the new 24-passenger luxury bus that we just bought. 24-passenger,